evening. Public housing tenants may have to fork out more for rent starting from September. Sources indicated today that the government is poised to raise rents by 10%. Christy Lung has the story.
Be prepared for another hike in rents if you live in public housing. The Housing Authority conducts a rent review every 2 years, and the increase this time came after a study of the income levels of tenants. Official figures show that the level has gone up by 11.59% since 2015. Still, rents will only go up by 10%, which is the maximum amount allowed under the housing ordinance. Therefore, households will face an average increase of $188. However, the greatest increase could be as much as around $470, while the least could be $34. On the street, mixed reaction to the news. That's okay, just increased by 100, said this lady. But this man said he would have to spend less on household items as he might face an increase of $200. Democratic Party lawmaker Andrew Wen thinks the authority should freeze the rents of tenants who are covered by the Rent Assistance Scheme, or RAS.
It seems not logical and violating the original purpose of the scheme. I think if they are still eligible to apply for the RAS, so it implies that they are still in the rather difficult financial situation.
Under the scheme, tenants are given a rent reduction of up to 50%. Pro-establishment lawmaker Kwok Wai-kung, who is also a Housing Authority committee member, thinks that a 1-month rent waiver is the most practical way to relieve financial pressure on tenants. However, it is understood the authority doesn't like the idea, as it would increase its deficit further to $1.7 billion. Christy Lung, TVB News.
The man in charge of helping the government find new land to build on says even he was caught by surprise when the chief executive asked him to contribute to her upcoming policy address. Stanley Wong doubts he'll be able to provide a report that's worthy. Winner Wong tells us more.
No, I did not expect it. This was what the chairman of the Task Force on Land Supply said on a radio show this morning. Stanley Wong and his team are currently gathering public views on land supply to be put into a report for the government. The full report is due in December. But recently, several government officials began to suggest the task force could write up a preliminary report so that the chief executive can consider it in her next policy address in October. The show's host had asked Wong whether he expected this. Wong admitted he was caught by surprise. He worries the preliminary report will not be comprehensive enough.
I think it is not likely that we can conclude anything from the quantitative survey or questionnaire, which had yet to be closed towards the end of September. Whether it is going to be exactly the same conclusion at the end of the report, we cannot preempt at this point of time.
But Wong says the task force will still try to help Lam in her upcoming policy address.
But then by early September, perhaps, through the different public engagement exercises, the members of the task force will be able to at least to indicate a certain clear direction as to where and how to increase our land supply.
He also insisted his team's report will not be swayed by what the CE says.
I probably have a certain view on either one of the options or either some of the options, as well as the chief executive, she prefers a certain land supply options, and likewise some other government officials as well. But we have said at the very upfront that none of the task force will be able to override the position of the task force, and at the same time the task force does not hold any particular position and any of the options. Our report will only be dependent on the result of a very extensive public engagement exercises.
Winner Wong, TVB News.
Police have arrested a man in connection with needles found sticking out of KMB bus seats in recent weeks. He's apparently around 30 years old and unemployed. He's believed to be responsible for needles found on the seats of KMB bus routes 41A, 48X, and 81 late last month. In 2 of these incidents, the needles managed to injure passengers. Including these 3 cases, a total of 8 needles have been found on various buses across the city.
Beijing has accused Washington of opening fire on the world with its planned tariffs on Chinese imports. This comes as the world's 2 biggest economies teeter on the brink of a trade war. The Trump administration's tariffs on $34 billion of Chinese imports take effect just after midday in Beijing tomorrow. But it's ready to increase levies on Chinese products worth $450 billion if Beijing retaliates. China says it won't fire the first shot, but will respond the moment the US measures take effect. Commerce Ministry spokesman Gao Feng warned Washington will only harm itself in the end, as most of the Chinese goods targeted are produced by enterprises which have foreign investment, including in the US. New Zealand's second highest court upheld a lower court ruling from last year that would allow internet entrepreneur Kim.com to be extradited to the United States to face racketeering and criminal copyright charges. The ruling sets the stage for .com's final appeal at the country's Supreme Court. Kim.com fought and Kim.com lost again. The founder of the now-defunct online file-sharing website Mega Upload and his 3 colleagues have lost their latest bid to avoid getting extradited to the United States to face criminal charges. The latest ruling by New Zealand's Court of Appeal comes more than 6 years after US authorities shut down Hong Kong-based Mega Upload and filed charges of conspiracy, racketeering and money laundering against the 4 men. And that leaves them with one final play, an appeal to New Zealand's highest judicial body, the Supreme Court.
He's now got to think about whether he wants to exercise his potential last right of appeal. Until he has exhausted all his legal appeals and legal processes, there's nothing for me to do. But if ultimately the decision is upheld that he is eligible for extradition, then I will have to consider the matter.
.com had asked the Court of Appeal to overturn 2 previous rulings by lower courts that the internet mogul and his 3 co-accused be sent to America to face charges. They could face decades behind bars if found guilty. The US Justice Department says .com and his 3 co-accused cost film studios and record companies more than $500 million by encouraging paying users to store and share copyrighted material. Their alleged illicit activities also generated more than $175 million in revenue. Known for flaunting his lavish lifestyle, the German-born New Zealand citizen came crashing down to earth in 2012 when dozens of police raided his mansion. Officers broke him out of a safe room and confiscated millions of dollars in cash and possessions, including a fleet of luxury cars, computers and artwork.
歡迎大家收睇品真情獻冇得定。我今日介紹大家呢，就係一個叫做豉薑炆鴨。嗱，好多人呢，豉椒炒雞啊、豉薑炆雞啊，點解今次嘅炆鴨呢？因為整雞呢容易好多。你知啦，隻鴨呢又肥又厚啊，做起上嚟呢時間係長，咁啊好多人呢就方便起見就整雞。我今日教你哋整鴨，我而家先開咗隻鴨先嚇。嗱，記住喎，鴨就係用背脊嗰度落，呢度落去。嗱，分開㗎啦。
Welcome back. Permanent residents aged 65 or above can start indicating their interest to subscribe for a lifelong annuity plan starting next Monday. Sharon Tang reports.
Details on the city's first ever public annuity scheme are finally here. This after the financial chief promised to offer another option to retirees so they can turn part of their savings into lifelong streams of guaranteed, stable and fixed annuity income. As long as you are 65 years old or above and hold a valid Hong Kong permanent identity card, you may not want to miss out on the annuity plan. It will allow men who invest a premium of $1 million maximum to receive $5,800 per month. Women would get $5,300 per month as their life expectancy is longer. Applicants who are older would receive higher monthly annuity payments. Sounds attractive, but how will authorities deal with possible oversubscription?
And if there is an oversubscription among all these applicants, then we'll probably need to set a threshold.
And what happens if the policyholder dies within the guaranteed period? Either the designated beneficiaries will continue to receive the remaining payments or receive a lump sum death benefit payment immediately. One finance expert reminded people not to put all their retirement eggs in one basket.
The annuity plan didn't consider about the inflation, because the payoff, the income stream already determined on the day when you participate in the game. If you using the plan, don't put all your money into the plan. You should make a balanced portfolio.
Eligible buyers can start subscribing for the annuity plan starting next Monday through 20 local banks. Interested subscribers can then submit the subscription intention forms at any one of the bank's designated branches from July 19th to August 8th. Sharon Tang, TVB News.
A 19-year-old man is set to face murder charges over killing his girlfriend while the pair were travelling in Taiwan. In a hearing at Kwun Tong Magistracy today, prosecutors charged him with a further count of theft. He already faces 2 counts of theft and 1 count of handling stolen goods. Prosecutors also told the court that just a few days ago they received an autopsy report from Taiwan authorities and would decide whether to lay a murder charge. The hearing was adjourned until August 22nd. The teen was accused of stealing about $20,000 from his girlfriend, who was later found dead in Taiwan.
Overseas again, Americans celebrated their 4th of July holiday with time-honored traditions. President Donald Trump kicked it all off with a video address to the nation.
In a video recording, Trump said he and First Lady Melania wish everyone a happy holiday as the nation celebrated their 242nd anniversary of independence.
It was 242 years ago today in Philadelphia that 56 brave representatives of the American people adopted our Declaration of Independence. Let us never forget that our freedom has been earned through the blood and sweat and sacrifice of American heroes. We are and will always be one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. Happy 4th of July, and God bless America.
Then Trump hosted a picnic for military families on the White House lawn.
To every service member here today and stationed around the world, thank you for keeping America safe, strong, proud, mighty, and free. God bless you. God bless our military.
Then it was on to this tradition, Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest in New York. That's where the reigning champion for 11 years earned the nickname Jaws.
A new world record, 74 Nathan's famous hot dogs at Bond.
I love the contest. I love coming out here on the 4th of July, and the crowd pushed me, and I'm not gonna say it was easy, but I trained for it, and things came together.
Miki Sudo chomped her way to victory in the women's division.
I saw that I had such a lead. I hate to say it, but I kind of took it easy.
In Maryland, staff from the Capital newspaper, where 5 employees were recently shot to death, marched in the annual 4th of July parade in Annapolis. They showed their solidarity by wearing shirts that read "Journalism Matters" and "Press On." Back in the nation's capital, right after sundown, was the most beloved Independence Day tradition: big, beautiful, magical fireworks. The Macy's fireworks show in New York was a patriotic gift to thousands upon thousands of spectators. The jaw-dropping display of pyrotechnics lit up the skies over the city's East River.
Those touring the Statue of Liberty on the 4th of July holiday had to be evacuated due to a protest. This woman triggered a 4-hour standoff with police after she climbed and sat at the base of the American symbol. 2 officers were forced to climb up and escort her down, where she was promptly arrested. The woman said she was protesting the policy of separating immigrant children from their parents at the border. At least 6 other demonstrators were also taken into custody. They unfurled a banner that read "Abolish ICE," referring to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And that is an oh my goodness wrap of our news.
Thanks for watching.